Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dark Phoenix Gaming, and welcome to my third brand new Let's Play of the bunch, and the only one that's not actually blind. This is going to be a Let's Play of Megaman Battle Network, done through the Battle Network Legacy Collection. And as you may remember, I have actually played this one before. Several times, in fact. Several times. You may or may not remember this, but I have a playthrough of Battle Network up on the channel from a while back. It's been at least a few years. And I really wanted to update it. Also, I'd very recently gotten the Battle Network Legacy Collection, which had been on my list for a while now because I love playing the originals through the ROMs. Don't get me wrong, I love doing things like that, but the Battle Network Legacy Collection, I just really wanted to try it out for various reasons. And plus, I was just curious to how well it turned out, because the modern quality of life stuff they added in the Mega Man Zero Legacy Collection, I really liked how they did that. So I just wanted to see how things would end up with this one, among other things. Now, this should be obvious, given that I have a playthrough of it before, but unlike my other two, this isn't blind. In fact, I've played Mega Man Battle Network an insane number of times. I don't know it front to back or anything, but I played it through to completion, we'll just say, a lot. I'm not someone who generally tends to 100% games like this, and Battle Network, I never did any of the post-game stuff. I would play it to the point where we finished the game, and that was it, and that's probably going to be what I do here. Honestly, the only game that I ever did any of the post-game offerings for was Battle Network 3, which is my favorite one of the bunch, but this one, Battle Network 1, I do have a special kind of love for because it was the first video game I ever played, was the original Battle Network on the Game Boy Advance, so hopefully they didn't screw anything up. Not that I expect to really notice if they did. Because I am by definitions a filthy casual for things like this. But in any case, let's get going. Battle Network time, everyone. Len, wake up! If you don't get up, you'll be late for school. PET Net News. World 3 crime on the rise. Yeah, I'm going to be saying some things a little bit differently just because I think the way they phrase it in other places works better. Like, World 3 instead of WWW, that's from the anime. Because there was actually a Mega Man anime for a time, which I watched a little bit of. So yeah, World 3 instead of WWW, expect that. It says the World 3 plan to control the net might be starting. Ugh, sleep. You've got mail from Dad, too. Look. Sorry I couldn't get off work Sunday. I'll be home soon. Here's a present for you, it says. There's some battle chip data attached. Ooh, I was just having a great dream, too. I'll expand the chip data, so check your PET later, okay? Eh, seems like they've done a better job with controlling it with a joystick than the Zero Collection did. With certain items, at least at a glance. Anyways, let's get our pet. And yeah, I'm gonna go back and forth between PET and pet. And we got Megaman. Len, good morning. Morning, Megaman. You need to talk to me, just push LB. Okay, let's get to school. Check my mail. Okay. That's the message that Megaman read for us before. I won't be reading these again, but I will go through them again just so that we have it. Our records. And our mom, because as is the typical with the JRPG stereotype, Len's dad is never around, but it's not because he's dead, but rather because he is a fucking workaholic and is always on the job. Good morning, Len. Morning, Mom. Breakfast is on the table. You have time to eat? Yes, we do. Len eats a hurried breakfast. Yum. We find a battle chip under the plate for Recover 10A. Apparently it's customary to put battle chips under for stuff like that, and yeah, we already have plenty of those, so no point in it, and yeah, we'll be collecting plenty more that are better as we go along, though I do not remember where the chip farming spots for any of the stuff is, so I may end up like grinding for some extras off camera and stuff. We'll see. Len, you're late. Uh-oh, Mail looks grumpy. Yeah, and fun fact, in the anime they actually renamed Mail to Mailu for some reason. I don't know why they made some of the naming choices they did in that anime. I liked it, but some parts of it were very weird. No one asks you to wait for me. Did you just say something? Come on, let's go. Why do we always have to walk to school together? Silly, because we've always got so much to talk about. She means she's got a lot to talk about. You just listen. Quiet. Have you heard about the oven accidents? People's ovens have been spitting fire all of a sudden. I bet it's another World 3 virus on the loose. You're just imagining things. Maybe. Well, here we are. Let's get to class. And now we are in school, and I will actually save the game. Now, we're gonna go around and talk to everyone before we do anything. I will be saving Dex for last because he is the trigger that gets the class started and thereby the tutorial. Morning, Len. Dex was looking for you. He's too big to be in elementary school, you know. Scary. You wish to ask moi, Madame Yai herself, about pet? Sure, why not? Curiosity is a virtue. Okay, listen up good. PET is short for Personal Terminal. It's a portable link to the net, see? Kinda like a cell phone that does a whole lot more. Can send mail, use electronic money, and read textbooks. The Navi program inside helps if you have a problem. You have one on your PET too. Wasn't it called Megaman? Yeah, and it's kind of funny and ironic just how much of the stuff that comes up in this game in terms of like technology and things ended up almost predicting the future in a way. It's amusing. And that sort of bizarre early 2000s kind of way, really. I love it. And I don't care how much there are demonstrably better games. The Battle Network series remains one of my favorite game series ever. And that's not about to change anytime soon. But I'll have more chances to gush about it as we go on. Whoa, no way. And I was like, for real? So we're just overhearing their gossip. Okay, sure. Man, yesterday our home oven started spitting fire. Len, you heard about the World 3's plot to control the net, yeah? Huh? Say the World 3 is making a virus to control the net. Then they'll control everything. Schools, companies, the army? And everything to have to be the way they want it. No way, man. Not if I can help it. Right, I'll panic about that when we know more stuff about it. Anyways, we've talked to everyone, so let's do decks. I've been waiting for you, Lan. I challenge you to a net battle. Your wimpy Megaman against my Gutsman. I heard that. Net battling isn't allowed, you know? Aw, stuff it. You sure got a big mouth for such a shrimp. We're not bothering anyone, are we, Lan? Well, I guess. Shrimp? That's no way to talk to a lady. Stopped by the bell. Man, class is starting. After class, Lan, be there. Let's begin class, shall we? First period is virus busting. Who's read net news? I did. It said World 3 net crime is on the rise. Very good. And extra marks for checking your net news. Of course, you should know too, Lan. It's important that we all know how to fight viruses. Ha. I'd like to see a World 3 virus take on me and Gutsman. Dex and his silly little Gutsman. What did you say? Relax. Why did the World 3 bother with you anyway, Dex? Why you, Lan? Quiet in the class. Today we'll be using the common virus called a Metool. Which, it might be called that one in this game, I don't recall, but in the later titles they changed the name to Metar, or something along those lines, so the name threw me for a second. Jack in your PET so your net navi can access the net. And she said to jack in, press RB. Yeah. The good old Battle Network 1 jack in animation. One of the more unique. It got completely changed to something totally different in later games, so it's always fun to see where they started with this. Looks like everyone's Navi is online. Okay, I'm releasing the Metool data now. Everyone ready? Okay, let's have a demonstration on how to delete viruses. Yeah. This tutorial isn't so bad in my opinion. Some people think it drags for a bit, but it gives you the basics of how to play, and you can learn the rest of it by doing, so I think it's fine personally. When fighting, you must first send chip data to your Navi. You choose the chips to send in this window. Chip icons are shown at the bottom of the setup window. From here, you choose which chips you want to send to the Navi. This shows the chip data you have selected. It shows the attack rating. This is the virus's hit points. Shows how tough the virus is. A lot of this is stuff I know because with how many times I've played This game, I've sat through this tutorial a billion times. It'd be nice if it was skippable, but it's short, so honestly it doesn't bother me that much. You normally only send one chip at a time, but you can send multiple copies of the same chip. Just 2 or 3 cannons. This will let you use more weapons and fight much better. Okay, now we'll choose which chip data to send. Select with A. Press RB to see an explanation of the chip. Chose a cannon, I see. That means you can choose one more cannon. Okay. Let's send this data to your Navi. Choose OK. Send the data. Now it's time to fight the virus. I'll explain how to fight as we actually do so. Move your Navi up, down, left, and right. You shoot with B, but it's weak but fast. Your HP is shown at the top left. If you go down to 0, your Navi is deleted, so be careful. Above your Navi's head is the chip data you sent. You can only use it once, so be careful. And that's the basic battle technique. Easy, right? It's Mario. What do you do if you've used your chips and the virus still isn't dead? That's a good question. Everyone look here. This is your battle gauge. It slowly fills as you fight. When it's full, press LB or RB. You can then go to the battle setup screen and choose new chips to send. Okay, let's try it. Good luck. Yeah. So, when we get into our first battle after the tutorial, I will do my own explanation of things because, well, I think the tutorial's good enough. I want to explain parts of it my own way as well. Moving on to the next lesson. Okay, now I'll tell you about support chips. Not all chips are weapons. For example, a steel chip will increase the area that your Navi is able to move around in. Since you need to get close for a sword, this would be a wise strategy. Sorry, I thought that we can only choose chip copies. Another good question. Look here, please. Do you see the letter? That's this chip's code. You can choose a different type of chip if it has the same code type. Please notice that steel and wide sword have the same code. They're both S. You can choose 2 chips at the same time now. They are shown here in the order that you chose them. This will help you plan your strategy. Okay, let's try that. Choose steel and wide sword in order. Okay. Now we'll send the data. And to try out our strategy. Okay, let's review that strategy. First, you use A to use steel. Then the virus area will shrink. And you will have more room to move around. Move into the area that you took and use the sword. It's a powerful strategy, but be careful of the virus's attack when close. Good luck, everyone! Okay, we'll use steel and part of their blue area turns red, and I can use my sword to take out 2 of the viruses. I could just spam buster attacks to take that last one, but instead I will simply wait and do it again. Let's get the sword and area steal a second time. There we go. Let's go on to the next lesson. Our final lesson will talk about chip adding. Using chip adding can increase the number of chips that you can use to make combinations for improved strategies. Look at the screen. See the add button at the bottom, right? If you select this button without choosing any chips, you will have to fight for 1 turn without chips But on your next turn, you will be able to select from 10. Do this twice and you'll have 15 ships to choose from. This should surely give you all the strategies you need. Okay, a pop quiz. This test, you will need to use all the techniques I've just taught you and delete a virus. Good luck. And yeah, use add. And the way the add function works actually changes throughout the series. This is the only one where you select nothing and that gives you what you're after.